very thankful for the opportunity to be able to share our little adventure to Mamuka Acts of Hope Initiative Preschool in Zambia. When we spoke to Esnard, our friend and director, one of the things she said to us, and by the way, white people in the local language are Mzungus. She said, when we speak to Mzungus, the words just fly out of our heads. I'm feeling a bit that way just at the moment, so just bear with me. Well, yeah, anything could happen next. So before we left, I stood here and I asked for your support for our safety and the success of what we're doing through your prayers. And I can tell you we could experience that every day. So we're so appreciative. Okay. Let's see how we go. So, yeah, beauty. There's Africa. The green bit is Zambia, which used to be Northern Rhodesia in past colonial times. I put a dot where Ndola, the city, but it was way too small there. So there's the arrow. So with the Ndola is the second or the third largest city in Zambia. Mamuka is on the outskirts of the city in quite an impoverished sort of an area, and within about 10 kilometres of the border with Democratic Republic of Congo. I think I've got that right. Yeah. So we had been to Africa before about 8 years ago and had met our friend Esnard, became our friend. And so we were very keen to visit. I should say that today, this is just our story. It's a story about hope and miracles. And we saw that evident every day. So we took a risk by taking some old friends of ours with us who had no experience of Mamuka or Africa or that part of the world. So here we are at our accommodation with Jenny and Kev. Jenny is a early childhood teacher and a primary school teacher, and Kev's an engineer who has quite different sets of eyes and can see things and pick up on things that we couldn't. We were so impressed with how they coped with the things that are just day-to-day life, like 12 hours a day load shedding for electricity. Sometimes it was 18, and various other sort of difficulties, that we experience. Load shedding, that means no electricity. So in preparation for our trip, Jill mainly and Jenny collected resources that Esnard had asked for around teaching materials and reading books. There was even a call for some funds to buy a laptop for Esnard to deal with reporting requirements for being a school with the government and with being a charity. So we put together just a small portion of so this is actually in Zambia. This is what we arrived with, about 40-something kilos of materials, which was great to unload that. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. The rules seem rigid on the airlines, but they can be fairly flexible, if you know what I mean. So we were able to provide those to the staff for them to work out how best to use those resources and to see, hopefully that what we provided were appropriate for the students. So we didn't actually know where the preschool was. We had an idea from Esnard. It was sort of along a dirt road behind something or other. And so we were busily Google searching for it, and we were reasonably close. We sort of had the right sort of township, I guess. But yeah. So before we visited the school, because when we arrived, we actually visited Esnard's church and went to church the first Sunday, which was in a school building, and African church can be pretty loud, but there were, 4 or 5 other churches going on in other classrooms. Man, it was unbelievable. So everyone's got their own church. But anyway, we were able to meet the staff, and you've seen these guys. They are a wonderful, fun, professional, caring group of people. So Esnard's on the right-hand side, and there are teachers, and there's a teacher aide, and a lady who is a cook and also is the child safety officer, which has got various dimensions. What's happened here? We also managed to meet the children, and here's them. Just inside the gate to the preschool area. You can see that it's secure, which is something that's a real issue there. But anyway, there they are in their uniforms. So because we didn't know where the preschool was, Esnard had to meet us out on the road. And we being Mzungus had a vehicle, and so she actually took us by road into where the preschool was. So it was the only vehicle there, and we were the only Mzungus there. And just one little moment for me was looking out when we arrived, and there's the children in the preschool, and then there's all the other kids out in the street just doing their thing. And one little fellow who's, I don't know, maybe 2, maybe, he saw the vehicle and he saw us, and it was just too much for him. He just got quite upset and tearful, and his brother had to sort of comfort him, these, what are these aliens? But so going in towards the preschool, this is just a couple of the observations, I suppose. This is older style housing, mud brick and a mud brick mortar and tin with a roof held on by rocks with no running water, no floor, no electricity, sort of thing. But it is starting to modernise. So there's a phone shop there. So people do have phones. So I don't know how they charge them, but it's just another mystery for me. So here's one of the shops in the village. So what we've kwacha, that's the K. There is the kwacha is the local currency, and they're selling a variety of things there. You can see tomatoes and some things hanging, and I think that might be milli meal, the ground up corn flour to make enshima, a local staple. And down the bottom is bags of charcoal, which is used in these sort of round pots for cooking. So we arrived at the school, and I don't know how she managed to do it, but Esnard managed to get a sign made of the school. So the school is actually in a rented house. Unbeknownst to us, she'd shifted from an earlier house to this better house. So this is, you can see it's a more modern style of thing. It's actually made with masonry blocks. It's been rendered, and there is electricity, you might notice there, but it was never used. I'm not sure if it was just turned off. Yeah, okay. So yeah. So the load shedding's so frequent that they actually have a roster that's published. It's not. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so that's the school, and there's another shot of us going in. So it's a like a small house-sized block with two, I guess they're largest bedrooms for which there's a class of students in each one. So that's in the entrance to one of the classrooms. So I'm sure that wasn't just done for us, but it was great. Welcome to Acts of Hope. So on the first day, they took us to the markets, which were a 5 or 10 minute walk through there. There's Jenny and Jill and Esnard and Aspina. And you can see that's a newer generation of building on the right-hand side because they're clay brick type of things, but still with the same sort of roof. And as you can see, everyone walks. When our friend from Africa came to Australia and we were driving her somewhere, she said, "Where is everybody?" Because everyone's in cars here. So, yeah. So here's the markets, and it is quite organised. There's various kind of different areas. There's a fruit and veg type area. There's an area where they sell wet fish and dried fish. Oh, I better hurry up. Yeah, okay. And you can buy food. Through Esnard, I asked if I could take a photo of this lady, and the answer was no, because she said she didn't like the way that Mzungus could take photos and use them in not good ways. So I was able to take a photo of the food, which I showed her, and she was happy with that. But interesting, isn't it? So we went to the Shitengi store. This is a Shitengi, and you saw the ladies wearing those. They can be done a variety of different ways. And we had been to the same place about 8 years ago with a man, and we paid about $10 each for these Shitengis. This time with Esnard and Aspina, being locals, we paid about $1.25. So here they are in the classroom with Precious, one of the teachers, and you can see that they're sort of crammed in there, but some are engaged in learning in that. And here's Aspina, and it's quite a sort of an academic kind of a program for preschool. But they've got pencils and writing pads and learning English, which lots of engagement by the kids. I didn't see any discipline issues. They were just so great. So there's the money shot. Yeah. So. And this is the teachers actually dragged out some of the equipment that we had brought, the materials, and there was an opportunity for the children to actually sort of interact and do things. So there's a couple there, and so it's not all academic. There is also some sort of activity and play based, but it's still a formal sort of an education. So facilities are fairly basic, but this is see that spoon? That's for mixing the enshima. Yeah, so the Mamuka provides a meal for the children each day. Yeah, that's so they have the privilege of having a well inside, so they draw water for the day, and that's Rebecca, the cook and child safety person getting the water. No, they do add chlorine tablets to it. So we were so impressed with their procedures around hygiene. There's the hygiene station for the children to wash hands, because they eat with their hands. There she is. So the same sort of thing with going to the toilet. There's a drop toilet, which always works, unlike Western plumbing. And so there's a procedure for good hygiene going on there. So each day, Rebecca prepares a meal. So there's a couple of shots here. So there's a combination of things. There's a couple of scoops of Inshima there, which is like white soft concrete, I reckon. And add some other things. So they have a nutritious meal every day. So there's a yeah, that's right. So actually the first day we were there, we shared a meal that the staff gave us a meal. So the children got 2 scoops of Inshima and a sausage with some sauce, and there's a sort of a cabbage and type of thing which you eat and just sort of grab, get the Inshima in your hand and eat it directly, which I managed to master without too much disaster there. But what we decided not to hang around for lunch on the other days, because we worked out that the day they gave us lunch, the teachers didn't eat. There you go. The accommodations that people make for you that you don't even know. And there's just another, the guys sitting down. So I'll hand over to Jill now to clean up after me. You've got about 2 minutes, yeah.
Not even that, we've gone over. Oh, great, okay. We'll show you the 1,000 slides of animals as well. Where are we up to? Okay. So as you saw, we took over a lot of things. Before we left, we showed you the light stream, the little electronic gadget that they attract their phones to. So this is teaching the teachers and staff how to use that. We ended up with about a couple of 100 storybooks on that little device. About 150 of those were African stories, some in their language and some in English. So making sure the teachers knew how to use them. So they're not just playing with their phones while I'm doing in-service. That is the in-service. Looked a lot like that in my last school too, but anyway. This is just going through the resources, and these guys are competent teachers. They don't need us to tell them how to do stuff, but some of the stuff they'd never seen before. And so Jenny in particular, even though it looks like I'm holding forth, Jenny was the really useful one for them there. You may remember we had this amazing garden party last year where we raised money for a block of land. It exists. We went there, and this is one of the survey pegs at the new block of land. And that's Esnart over in the paddock showing us where the other corner is. So you kind of own that land a little bit, some of you guys. One amazing thing, there was some sort of eucalypt growing on the land, which was pretty fun for us. But anyway, she's got a very clear vision of what that is going to look like. And Kev was very useful in helping her hone those plans. And he didn't show her, but he actually has them drawn up. So that's pretty exciting. So that will happen. It's a little bit further out from where she is now, out of town, which is very appropriate because town is moving out. And so the poor community is being pushed further out, but it's not too far away. On the last day, we took mandarins down for the kids as a treat. And this is just them hooking into the mandarins. They were very insistent that the white teachers had to help them peel them. They didn't want their teachers helping them with that. The other thing, we were very lucky to take our dentist in Caboolture, Greenland Dental, there's a little ad, gave us 75 toothbrushes to take over. children's toothbrushes and adult toothbrushes for the children. That was something that they had requested that they couldn't get. This was a major part of our expedition, was to get Gary to film resources for us to use in the promotion of Mamuka. So lots of video, lots of photos that we can use in brochures and so forth. This was Kev and Gary setting up for teacher interviews. This is showing them. They were pretty nervous and pretty scared about it all, but they did an amazing job. While we were there, we also took the opportunity to meet with some other people, and the two guys in the middle there, Sheba and Daniel, are again old friends of ours who now work for an organisation called Beyond Ourselves. They are a UK charity, and they are the charity that is going to build the school for us. And so we wanted to meet with Sheba and Daniel to firstly make sure that was true, and secondly, to figure out what we needed to do to make that happen. And there's quite a lot of requirements, but they assured us that Esnat and what she has done and is doing is actually what will get that across the line, and they will commit to helping us build that school as soon as we get paperwork through from the government and get quotes and other things, plans sorted out. So that was a worthwhile visit, as well as being great to catch up with old friends. We also met with this amazing lady from Rotary International who is working on a project to eradicate malaria from Southern Africa. And that was a bit of a sideways step, but it was also an important one because she's working in our community, and it's a contact with the local Rotary Club. And of course, Rotary is very useful in helping things get set up and provide resources. We were impressed with everything, but we were mostly impressed with the quality of what they are doing. They are value driven. It's in front of everything they do. They really are giving the kids just an absolutely top flight education. So just to finish, this is the kids being just a little bit silly on the last day, and the staff showing off as well. I guess in conclusion, again, to what Gary said about having the opportunity to show you, we really appreciate. But also, we think this is a really, really special place and a very special ministry, and we're blown away to be part of it. But we don't actually think it's any more special than the other stuff that's happening around here. So God's doing amazing things across the world. God's doing amazing things in Caboolture Living Hope Church of Christ. So you don't have to go to Africa to be making a difference. Just really wanted to focus us back on what God's doing here, what he's doing with you in your lives, in the work, whether it's driving a limousine or whether it's working in aged care or visiting schools or just helping out with all the things that you do. So we just want to thank God that this is one little part of what the family here is doing. So thank you.
Thank you for that. It was great to be a part of it, and in prayer, and as well as seeing it all and that there.